Okay, now we're going to continue with our project with step number 5. We are going to do a reinforcement stitch. A reinforcement stitch means we're doing a second row of stitching to make sure that the first row is secure. It's kind of like when you use like these little paper reinforcers, or if you have the loose leaf where it has that reinforcement strip, we're just doing this to make it stronger. So if your first row is really straight, trace it. If your second row your first row isn't really straight, make the second row straighter. So remember, always back stitch, forward, backwards, forward. Again, outside of the presser foot as your guide. If your first row isn't straight, don't trace it. If the first row is straight, trace it. It's just a backup in case the rice pops through one row. Again, I'm going way faster than you would be. When you get to the end, remember when you approach, you are going to stop, use your hand wheel, do 2 or 3 stitches. If you turn it and there's a lot of fabric, you could always do 1 more stitch. Turn the corner. We want to have room down here. You don't want to sew too close to the edge. This part though, you do want to get all the way to the end. Put your needle down, come back 3, come forward 3, pull it out, cut it. Now, I'm going to make sure that you put a star on your paper to make sure that you bring your midway evaluation up. It says midway, another word, halfway. All the evaluations are located on the bin over by the door where you will turn this in. There's that orange bin over there. I will grade you. You will grade yourself. If you need to make any changes, I'll have you do it, and then I will regrade you. This will get turned in to the bin where we always turn papers in, and we will check our names off. You must turn it in. I haven't had time to write it down. After you do step 5, I will do step number 6 for you, which is to clip the corner. The reason we clip the corner is just to get away this extra bulk. If you've ever had on a sock and it keeps rubbing on your little toe because there's a little piece in there, that's what this is for. Now you are going to flip your tube around. You do want to take your name off this for now and put it back on later. If there are extra threads, please cut it. So now all the raw edges, just clipping that extra thread, all of the raw edges of your fabric are going to be inside. Just try and get rid of all this extra thread as much as you can. Zoom back out. Now, you may want to get a ruler to help you do this. You are going to turn your tube all the way through. Think of it kind of like a sock. You might want to grab a ruler to push the end out, but you don't need to if you don't want to. You can just kind of help it out yourself. Pushing the end through. Make sure if you do use a ruler that you pick one that does not have any metal in it so that you do not rip your fabric. Now, we want to make sure when you get this pulled out that the end is totally flat and that the corners are nice and crisp. So this is one way. Another way, again, is if you take the ruler, push the ruler through, it would pop the end all the way out. Okay, this is a short ruler, but if you have one, you can pop it through, pushing the ends out. You want the ends to be 90-degree angles, and a larger ruler would be helpful. They will be located over on the cart near the thread. Okay, now it's pulled out. The one thing I do want you to look at is look at the corners. If they're not 90-degree angles, take a little pin, pull it through, and make sure it's straight.